What if? The reason your life hasn't changed yet is not because you are lazy, not because you lack motivation, not because you are unlucky, but because your habits are quietly controlling you. What if every small choice you make today is secretly deciding who you will become tomorrow? What if success is not built by massive effort, but by tiny decisions repeated daily? Welcome to Atomic Discipline, a book about building habits so small they feel easy, yet so powerful they can completely redesign your life. This is not about motivation. This is not about willpower. This is not about forcing yourself. This is about designing discipline and becoming consistent without suffering. Let's begin. Chapter 1: The Invisible Power of Small Habits. What if the smallest habit you ignore today becomes the reason your future looks completely different? Most people believe change must be loud, big decisions, big effort, big motivation. But real change is quiet. So quiet that most people don't notice it happening. Your life is not shaped by one big moment. It is shaped by what you do repeatedly when no one is watching. Small habits don't feel important. That's why they are powerful. Why your life looks the way it does. Take a moment and look at your life honestly. Your health, your money, your confidence, your discipline, your skills, your mindset. None of these happened overnight. They are the result of tiny actions repeated again and again. What you eat daily, what you think daily, what you avoid daily, what you practice daily, what you postpone daily, your habits are votes for the person you are becoming. And the scary part? You are always voting, even when you don't realize it. Small habits feel useless. That's the trap. Reading one page feels useless. Doing 5 push-ups feels useless. Saving a few dollars feels useless. Practicing for 5 minutes feels useless. So most people don't do them. They wait for motivation. They wait for energy. They wait for the perfect time. But small habits are not useless. They are invisible investments. You don't see results immediately, and that's why people quit. The plane analogy. Imagine a plane leaving New York. If the pilot adjusts direction by just 1 degree, the plane doesn't crash. Nothing dramatic happens. But hours later, the plane lands in a completely different country. Your habits work the same way. A tiny shift today creates a completely different destination tomorrow. Why big goals fail most people. Big goals excite the ego, but they overwhelm the brain. I will wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I will work out for 1 hour daily. I will change my life this month. Your brain hears this and thinks, that's dangerous. That's uncomfortable. So it resists. And when resistance meets motivation, motivation loses. This is why discipline must be designed, not forced. Atomic discipline. The core idea. Atomic means small but powerful. Atomic discipline means small actions, low resistance, high consistency, identity-based growth. Instead of asking, how can I change my life fast? Ask, what is the smallest habit I can repeat daily, even on my worst days? That question changes everything. The real reason people fail. People don't fail because they start wrong. They fail because they try to do too much. They confuse intensity with progress. But progress is built on frequency, not intensity. Doing something small daily beats doing something big occasionally. Always. The habit iceberg. What people see. Success, confidence, discipline, consistency. What they don't see. Boring, Repetition, tiny habits, quiet effort, unsexy routines. The results are visible, the habits are invisible. Your job is to fall in love with the invisible work. The first rule of atomic discipline: never make habits depend on motivation. Motivation is emotional. Habits must be mechanical. If your habit requires motivation, it will fail. If your habit requires only action, it will survive. The show up rule: you don't need to perform. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to feel good. You just need to show up, even if it's 1%, even if it's messy, even if it's tired. Showing up is the habit. Results come later. The identity shift begins here. Every time you complete a tiny habit, you tell your brain, I am the kind of person who shows up. That sentence rewires your identity. An identity is stronger than motivation. Why this book will work for you. This book is not about hype. It's about systems. Not about forcing discipline, but removing friction. Not about changing everything, but changing one thing daily. By the end of this book, you won't be trying to stay consistent. You will simply be consistent. Your first micro challenge before Chapter 2 begins: do this. Choose one tiny habit you will do today. Not tomorrow. Today. Read one paragraph. Drink one glass of water. Write one sentence. Do one push-up. Clean one small area. Do it now. Because atomic discipline starts with one small decision. Chapter 2. Why discipline beats motivation every time. What if the reason you keep starting and stopping is because you are trusting the wrong force? What if motivation, the thing everyone tells you to chase, is actually the reason you keep failing? What if the people who look disciplined, consistent, and successful are not motivated at all, but simply operating on something stronger? Welcome to the truth most people never accept. Motivation feels powerful. Discipline is powerful. This chapter will change how you see effort forever. The big lie about motivation. From childhood, you are taught this idea. Find motivation, and you can do anything. Sounds good, sounds inspiring, sounds hopeful. But it's a lie. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. It depends on mood, sleep, emotions, weather, stress, results. Some days you wake up excited. Some days you wake up tired. Some days you feel unstoppable. Some days you feel empty. If your habits depend on motivation, your progress will always be unstable. An unstable effort creates unstable results. Why motivation fails in real life? Let's be honest. Motivation works when life is easy, energy is high stress, low results come fast. But motivation disappears when you are tired, life becomes busy, results are slow stress, increases doubt shows up. And that's exactly when discipline is needed most. Motivation loves the beginning. Discipline carries you through the middle. And the middle is where most people quit. Discipline is not what you think. When people hear discipline, they imagine strict routines, punishment, suffering, pressure, forcing yourself. That's not real discipline. Real discipline is simple. Discipline means I do what I said I would do, even when I don't feel like it. That's it. No emotion, no drama, no negotiation, just action. The emotional brain versus the disciplined brain. Inside your mind, there are two voices. Voice 1, the emotional brain. It says, I'm tired. Not today. I'll start tomorrow. I deserve a break. Just this once. This voice wants comfort. Voice 2, the disciplined brain. It says, do the minimum. Just start. One small step. Show up. This voice wants progress. Most people let the emotional brain decide their life. Disciplined people do something different. They act first, and let emotions catch up later. The truth. Action creates motivation. Not the other way around here is something life will teach you again and again. You don't feel motivated and then act. You act and then motivation appears. When you start, energy increases, focus improves resistance, fades, confidence builds. Motivation is a reward for action, not a requirement for it. Why discipline feels hard at first? Discipline feels hard at the beginning because your brain is used to comfort new actions. Feel unfamiliar. Resistance is highest at the start. But discipline gets easier over time. Why? Because repetition removes resistance. The first day feels heavy. The 10th day feels normal. The 100th day feels automatic. What was once discipline becomes habit. The discipline advantage motivates people. Work when they feel good. Stop when they feel bad. Disciplined people work when they feel good. Work when they feel bad. That's the difference. Discipline doesn't promise comfort. It promises results. Discipline is a skill, not a personality. You were not born undisciplined. Discipline is trained. Just like muscles grow by repetition, discipline grows by small daily actions. Every time you keep a small promise start, when you don't feel like it, choose effort over comfort, you strengthen discipline. No one becomes disciplined overnight. They become disciplined by practice. The no negotiation rule. Here is a powerful shift. Stop negotiating with yourself. Negotiation sounds like, should I do it? Maybe later. What if I skip today? Negotiation drains energy. Instead, decide in advance. Example, every day after waking up, I read 1 page. Every night, I write 1 sentence. Every morning, I drink water. No decision, no emotion, just execution. Discipline thrives on decisions made before emotions arrive. The lowest standard rule. On your best days, you will do more. On your worst days, you must do the minimum. Discipline is not about maximum effort. It is about minimum consistency. Set a standard so low you cannot fail. Because doing something beats doing nothing, showing up, beats quitting consistency, beats intensity, discipline, builds self-trust. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you lose trust in yourself. Every time you keep a promise, you gain confidence. Discipline is not about control. It is about self-respect. When you say, I will do this, and you do it, you become reliable to yourself. And self-trust is power. Why most people resist discipline? Because discipline delays pleasure. Comfort now feels better than success later. But here's the trade-off. Comfort now, regret later. Discipline now, freedom later. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. The freedom paradox. Discipline feels restrictive at first, but it creates freedom. Financial discipline, financial freedom, health discipline, physical freedom, time discipline, mental freedom, habit discipline, life freedom. Lack of discipline feels free at first, but creates limitation later. Discipline removes chaos. When you rely on feelings, your days feel random, your progress feels unstable, your confidence feels weak. When you rely on discipline, your days become predictable. Your habits become stable. Your identity becomes strong. Discipline creates structure. Structure creates peace. The simple discipline formula. Here it is, clearly. Decide what matters. Make it small. Remove choice. Repeat daily. Trust the process. That's atomic discipline. Your discipline training starts today. Before moving to chapter 3, do this. Choose one action that takes less than 5 minutes, improves your life, you can repeat daily. Decide the time. Decide the place. Remove negotiation. And do it today, even if you don't feel like it. especially if you don't feel like it. What if discipline is not about becoming stronger, but about becoming consistent? That question changes everything. Chapter 3: The Identity Shift That Makes Habits Stick. What if the real reason your habits don't last is because you are trying to change your actions without changing who you believe you are? What if consistency isn't about effort, but about identity? This chapter will show you why most habits fail and how to build habits that stay with you for life. Why action-based change always breaks. Most people try to change like this. I want to lose weight. I want to wake up early. I want to be productive. I want to read more. These are action goals. Action goals focus on what you want to do, not who you want to become, and that's why they fail. Because actions are temporary. Identity is permanent. Identity always wins. You don't act against who you believe you are. If you believe, I'm lazy, you act lazy. I'm bad at consistency. You quit easily. I never finish things. You stop early. Your habits are not broken. Your identity is. Until your self-image changes, your behavior will always return to the old pattern. The 3 levels of change. There are 3 levels where change happens. Level 1, outcomes, goals, results, achievements. Level 2, processes, habits, systems, routines. Level 3, identity beliefs, self-image, standards. Most people try to change at level 1. Some try at level 2. But real transformation happens at level 3. The question that changes everything, instead of asking, what habit should I build? Ask, what kind of person would do this naturally? For example, a reader reads daily. A disciplined person shows up daily. A healthy person moves daily. A focused person works without excuses. Your goal is not to read. Your goal is to become a reader. Habits are votes for identity. Every action you take is a vote. One workout doesn't make you fit. One study session doesn't make you smart. One disciplined day doesn't change your life, but every action is a vote for the type of person you are becoming. You don't need 100% proof. You need enough evidence. Why small habits are perfect for identity change. Big habits feel impressive. Small habits feel pointless. But small habits are powerful because they are easy to repeat. They reduce resistance, they build evidence fast. When you do something small daily, your brain starts to say, maybe this is who I am now. That belief changes everything. Stop trying to prove. Start collecting evidence. Most people try to motivate themselves with words, but the brain doesn't trust words. It trusts evidence. Every time you show up, finish the minimum, keep a promise, you collect evidence, and evidence rewrites identity. The identity loop. Here is how identity is built. Action, evidence, belief, behavior. Repeat the loop. The more evidence you collect, the stronger the belief becomes. Soon, the habit feels natural because it matches who you believe you are. Why? Consistency feels hard right now. Because your current identity is fighting the new behavior. Your brain is saying, this is not who we are. That tension is normal. Consistency feels uncomfortable until identity catches up. The phrase that rewires your mind. Start using this sentence. I am the kind of person who... Examples. I am the kind of person who shows up daily. I am the kind of person who finishes what I start. I am the kind of person who chooses discipline. Say it after action, not before. Identity grows from proof. The role of standards. Identity is defined by standards. Your standards decide what you tolerate, what you repeat, what you become. Raise your standards slowly. Not perfection, consistency. The power of keeping small promises. Every broken promise weakens identity. Every kept promise strengthens it. That's why small habits matter. They are promises you can keep, and self-trust is built by repetition. Don't fight old identity, starve it. Old identity fades when you stop feeding it, you stop repeating old behaviors. You don't need to destroy it. Just stop supporting it. New habits feed the new identity. When identity shifts, effort drops. When behavior matches identity, resistance drops, discipline feels natural, consistency feels easy. You're no longer forcing action. You're expressing who you are. Real life example. A person who says, "I'm trying to quit smoking," still identifies as a smoker. A person who says, "I'm not a smoker," has changed identity. Identity changes behavior faster than willpower ever could. Your identity practice. Before chapter 4, do this. Choose one habit you want. Ask, what type of person does this daily? Define the identity in one sentence. Perform one small action today. Say, this is who I am becoming. And that's it. No pressure, no perfection, just proof. What if you're only one small habit away from becoming a completely different person? That thought should excite you. Chapter 4. How to design habits that run on autopilot. What if the secret to consistency is not trying harder, but thinking less? What if the best habits are not the ones that need discipline, but the ones that happen automatically? This chapter will teach you how to design habits so your brain doesn't fight you anymore. Why willpower always loses. Willpower is limited. It gets weaker when you are tired, are stressed, make too many decisions, face temptation. If your habits require willpower, they will eventually fail. Successful people don't have more willpower. They have better systems. Habits are triggers, not decisions. Every habit starts with a trigger. You don't brush your teeth because you think about it. You do it because you wake up, you see the toothbrush. Your brain knows what comes next. The trigger does the work, not motivation. Your job is to attach habits to triggers. The habit loop, simple version. Every habit follows this loop. Trigger. Something that starts the habit, action. The habit itself, reward. Something that feels good. Design all three and habits become automatic. The power of habit stacking. Habit stacking means attach a new habit to an existing habit. Formula. After I current habit, I will new habit. Examples. After I brush my teeth, I read one page after I drink coffee. I write one sentence after I sit at my desk. I start the timer, no thinking. No planning, just flow. Why your habits don't stick. Most people say, I forgot. They didn't forget. They had no trigger. No trigger, no habit. Discipline begins with design. Make good habits. Obvious if you want a habit to happen, make it easy to see. Place the book on your pillow. Keep water on your desk. Put workout clothes near the bed. What you see is what you do. Make bad habits invisible. Bad habits survive on easy access. Phone nearby, scrolling junk food visible, eating TV remote close, distraction. Remove the trigger and the habit weakens. Environment beats willpower. The 2-minute rule. Any habit that takes less than 2 minutes has almost zero resistance. Don't read for 30 minutes. Read one page. Don't work out for 1 hour. Do one push-up. Don't write a chapter. Write one sentence. Start small. Scale later. Why starting is the hardest part. The brain resists starting, not continuing. Once you start, momentum builds, resistance drops, focus improves. Design habits to make starting effortless. Use timers, not feelings. Feelings are unreliable. Timers are neutral. Set a timer. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Tell yourself, when the timer ends, I can stop. Most times, you'll continue. Design your entry point. Every habit needs an entry point. Examples: opening the book, opening the laptop, sitting on the chair, putting shoes on. Make the entry point easy. Once inside, the habit flows. Remove friction for good habits. Ask, what makes this habit harder than it needs to be? Then remove it. Too many steps, too much preparation, too much thinking. Simplify until resistance disappears. ADD friction to bad habits. Make bad habits annoying. Log out of apps. Put phone in another room. Add passwords. Delay access. The harder it is to start, the less often it happens. The golden rule of Autopilot. If a habit feels heavy, redesign it. Don't force. Adjust. Habits should feel almost too easy. Autopilot is not laziness. Autopilot is intelligence. Your brain loves saving energy. When habits are automatic, stress drops, consistency rises, discipline feels natural. This is not cheating. This is mastery. Real life example. A writer doesn't wait to feel inspired. They sit at the desk, open the document, write one sentence. The system does the work. Your habit design task. Before Chapter 5, do this. Choose one habit. Identify the trigger. Reduce it to 2 minutes. Place it in your environment. Remove one obstacle. That's how habits run on autopilot. What if consistency is not about effort, but about design? That thought changes everything. Chapter 5. Breaking bad habits without willpower. What if the bad habits you hate the most are not your weakness, but simply patterns that were designed poorly? What if you don't need more control, more discipline, or more motivation, but better understanding? This chapter will show you how to break bad habits without fighting yourself every day. Why willpower fails against bad habits. Bad habits are not random. They exist because they reduce stress. They provide comfort. They give quick relief. Your brain doesn't care about long-term success. It cares about short-term comfort. So when you try to quit using force, your brain resists harder. This is why people relapse habits, return cycles, repeat. Force creates resistance. Design removes it. Bad habits serve a purpose. Every bad habit solves a problem. Scrolling reduces boredom. Junk food reduces stress. Smoking reduces anxiety. Procrastination reduces fear. If you don't replace the function, the habit will return. You don't remove habits, you replace them. The real habit loop, deeper look. Every bad habit follows this loop. Trigger, stress, boredom, emotion, craving, desire for relief, action, the habit reward, comfort or distraction. Break the loop at any point, and the habit weakens. Step 1. Identify the real trigger. Most people focus on the habit. The real issue is the trigger. Ask, when does this habit appear? What emotion comes first? What situation triggers it? Awareness alone reduces power. You can't change what you don't see. Step 2. Make the habit invisible. If you can't see it, you won't crave it as strongly. Examples. Remove apps from home screen. Don't keep junk food nearby. Keep distractions out of reach. Visibility fuels habits. Remove the visual trigger. Step 3. Add friction. Bad habits survive because they are easy. Make them annoying. Add passwords. Log out, delay access. Put obstacles in the way. Your brain avoids effort. Use that against the habit. Step 4. Replace. Don't remove, you must replace the habit with something that feels similar, gives relief, is less harmful. Examples. Scrolling, walking junk food, fruit or water, smoking, breathing procrastination, 2-minute action, same reward, better behavior, the pause rule. When the urge appears, pause for 10 seconds. Ask, what am I really feeling right now? This creates space between urge and action. Habits die in the pause. Use delay to your advantage. Tell yourself, I can do this, but after 10 minutes. Most urges disappear. Urges are waves. They rise, peak, and fall. You don't need to fight them. Just wait them out. Change the story. You tell yourself, language matters, instead of, I'm trying to quit. Say, I don't do that anymore. Identity kills habits faster than effort. Why guilt makes habits stronger. Guilt increases stress. Stress triggers bad habits. Self-attack fuels the cycle. Replace guilt with curiosity. Ask, why did this happen? Not, what's wrong with me? Reduce stress, habits weaken. Bad habits thrive in chaos. Reduce stress and habits lose fuel. Sleep better. Eat regularly. Breathe deeply. Slow down. Discipline is easier in a calm system. One bad day doesn't ruin you. Missing once is human. Missing twice is a pattern. Follow the never miss twice rule. Get back immediately. Momentum matters more than perfection. Design a bad habit exit plan. Before the urge hits, know your trigger, know your replacement, know your delay. Preparation beats resistance. Real life example. A person who overeats at night. Trigger, stress, cheese, fatigue. Replacement, warm tea, speed, walk, friction. No snacks nearby, no willpower, just design. Your practical exercise. Before chapter 6, do this. Choose one bad habit. Identify the trigger. Remove one visual cue. Add friction. Choose one replacement action. Start today. Small steps break big habits. What if your bad habits are not your enemy, but signals guiding you toward better systems? That realization changes everything. Chapter 6. The Environment Advantage. What if the reason you struggle with discipline has nothing to do with you, and everything to do with what surrounds you? What if consistency is not about self-control, but about self-design? This chapter will change how you see willpower forever. You are not weak, you are surrounded. Most people blame themselves. I have no discipline. I lack self-control. I'm just lazy. But behavior is often a reaction to environment. If discipline feels hard, your environment is doing the wrong job. Change the environment. Behavior follows. The silent power of environment. Environment shapes what you see, what you think, what you do, what you repeat. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your environment. Why disciplined people look strong? Disciplined people don't fight temptation all day. They avoid it. They remove friction from good habits and add friction to bad ones. That's the secret. Environment always wins against willpower. Willpower gets tired. Environment doesn't. When willpower fades, your surroundings decide your actions. Design your surroundings wisely. Make good habits easy. Ask, what can I change to make this habit automatic? Examples. Keep book on pillow. Keep water on desk. Keep journal open. Keep shoes near door. Ease beats effort. Make bad habits. Hard ask. What can I remove to reduce temptation? Examples. Phone in another room. Junk food out of sight. TV, remote far away. Apps deleted. Distance reduces desire. The power of visual cues. What you see daily becomes what you do daily. Visual cues trigger habits faster than motivation. Design your space intentionally. One space, one purpose. Rule your brain links spaces with behavior. Bed, sleep desk, work, couch, rest. If you mix purposes, your brain gets confused. Protect your habit spaces. Digital environment matters too. Your phone is an environment. Notifications. Apps feeds. Design your digital space. Turn off notifications. Remove distracting apps. Simplify home screen. Your attention is your life. Social environment shapes identity. You absorb the habits of people around you. lazy environment, lazy habits, disciplined environment, disciplined habits. If you want to grow, get closer to people who live the life you want. Don't fight. Avoid the strongest form of discipline is avoidance. If temptation is not present, discipline is not required. Change the default. Your brain follows the easiest option. Make the right choice, the default choice. Healthy food visible. Tools ready. Work prepared. Defaults control behavior. Environment is a form of self-respect. When you design your space, you are saying, my future matters. That mindset creates consistency. When environment changes, identity follows. New surroundings create new behavior. New behavior creates new identity. This is why travel often changes people. Real life example. A person struggling to study. Desk cluttered, phone nearby, notifications on environment changed, clean desk, phone away, timer ready. Focus appeared naturally. Your environment upgrade before Chapter 7. Do this. Choose one habit, identify one obstacle, remove it today. Add one visual cue. Simplify the space. No motivation required. What if success is not about becoming stronger, but about becoming smarter with your environment? Think about that. Chapter 7. Consistency on your worst days. What if the days that feel the hardest are actually the most important days of all? What if consistency is not built on your best days, but on the days when you feel tired, unmotivated, and empty? This chapter is about those days. The days when quitting feels logical. The truth about bad days. Bad days are not a problem. They are guaranteed. No one feels motivated every day, feels strong every day, feels focused every day. Consistency is not about avoiding bad days. It's about designing behavior for them. Why most habits break on low energy days? On low energy days, willpower is low emotions. Our heavy resistance is high. If your habits require high energy, they will break. So we design habits that survive low energy. The bare minimum method on bad days, do the smallest version of the habit. Not zero, not full effort. Just enough to show up. Examples. 1 push-up, 1 page, 1 sentence, 1 minute. This keeps the habit alive. Why 0 is dangerous. Doing nothing breaks identity. 0 sends this message. I don't show up when it's hard. Bare minimum sends this message. I am consistent. Even today. That message matters. Separate feelings from action. You don't need to feel good to act. Feelings are signals, not commands. Discipline listens to plans, not emotions. The 3-second rule when resistance appears. Count down from 3. 3, 2, 1. Move. Action breaks hesitation. Low energy. No action. Low energy means do less, not do nothing. Adjust the size, not the identity. The just show up rule. You don't need a perfect session. You just need presence. Show up and allow progress to be imperfect. Why this works psychologically. Your brain values consistency over performance. It remembers, did you show up or did you quit? Show up and confidence grows. The never miss twice rule. Missing once is human. Missing twice creates a pattern. Your only rule, never miss twice. Get back immediately. Emotional resilience builds discipline. Every bad day you show up makes you mentally stronger. Discipline is emotional training. Real life example. A writer on a bad day writes 1 sentence, closes laptop. That sentence keeps the identity alive. Stop demanding perfection. Perfection creates pressure. Pressure creates resistance. Resistance creates quitting. Consistency thrives on kindness. Bad days are proof of commitment. Anyone can show up when it's easy. Showing up when it's hard builds pride. Pride builds identity. Your bad day plan. Before Chapter 8, Do this. Define your bare minimum. Write it down. Promise to do it on bad days. Forgive imperfect effort. Repeat. This plan saves habits. What if your worst days are secretly building your strongest self? Think about that. Chapter 8. The Compound Power of Tiny Discipline. What if the smallest actions you repeat today are silently shaping a future you can't yet see? What if success is not a result of big breakthroughs, but of tiny discipline repeated long enough? This chapter will change how you see time, effort, and progress. Why small efforts feel useless. Tiny actions feel pointless because results are delayed, progress is invisible, effort feels too small, so people stop. But what feels small today becomes massive over time. The compound effect explained simply. Compounding means small improvements stack. 1% better each day doesn't feel exciting, but over time it changes everything. Tiny discipline. Sit time. Transformation. Why people quit too early. People quit because they don't see results fast. They underestimate time. They overestimate effort. They stop before compounding begins. The valley of disappointment. Progress looks flat before it looks exciting. This is where most people quit. Discipline is tested. Identity is formed. Stay long enough, results appear suddenly. Discipline is a long-term game. Short-term effort rarely changes life. Long-term consistency always does. You don't need intensity. You need patience. The mathematics of discipline. Tiny actions daily. Big actions occasionally. Consistency beats talent. Repetition beats motivation. The magic is in boring compounding comes from boring routines. The habits that change your life. Feel ordinary, feel repetitive, feel unexciting. That's why they work. Trust the process. Results come after commitment. If you judge progress too early, you quit too soon. Discipline means trusting invisible growth. Real life example. A person who saves small amounts daily eventually builds wealth. Same principle, different area. Discipline creates momentum. Tiny wins create momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates identity. Identity sustains discipline. The long view mindset asks, where will this habit take me in 1 year? That question keeps you consistent. Why you must stop comparing. Comparison kills consistency. Others are at different stages. You are building your own compound path. The reward of patience. Most people want results now. Disciplined people accept. Slow growth, delayed reward. Quiet progress. That acceptance is power. Your compound challenge before Chapter 9. Choose one tiny habit. Commit for 30 days. Track consistency. Ignore results. Trust the process. That's how compounding begins. What if the habit you almost quit is the one that would change everything? Let that sink in. Chapter 9. How to recover fast when you fail. What if failure is not the opposite of discipline, but part of it? What if the real skill is not never failing, but recovering quickly? This chapter will teach you how to fail without quitting and how to turn mistakes into momentum. Failure is guaranteed. No one stays perfect. You will. Miss days, lose focus. Fall back. Feel disappointed. This does not mean you failed. It means you are human. The real danger is not failing. The real danger is quitting after failure, feeling shame, giving up identity. Failure only becomes permanent when you stop showing up. Why people quit after one mistake. One mistake triggers guilt, self-judgment, negative identity. I always mess up. I can't stay consistent. That story is more damaging than the mistake. The never miss twice rule, revisited. Miss once, reset. Miss twice, pattern. Your rule, never miss twice. Immediate recovery matters more than perfection. Remove emotion from failure. Failure is data, not identity. Ask, what happened? Why did it happen? What can I adjust? Curiosity replaces shame. Failure is feedback. Every mistake teaches you what doesn't work where friction exists, what needs redesign. Use failure to improve systems. Redesign. Don't blame creates stress. Stress fuels bad habits. Redesign removes resistance. The reset ritual. Create a simple reset ritual. Clean your space, drink water. Write one line, restart immediately. This ritual signals a new beginning. Forgiveness builds consistency. Self-forgiveness keeps habits alive. Punishment creates quitting. Be firm, not cruel, with yourself. Small wins after failure. After a miss, do the smallest version rebuild momentum. Restore identity, momentum is fragile, protect it. Real life example. A person misses a workout. Next day, one push-up. Identity preserved, consistency saved. Failure builds resilience. Each recovery strengthens discipline. You don't grow by avoiding failure. You grow by overcoming it. Stop starting over. You don't need to restart. Just continue. Consistency is continuation, not perfection. Your recovery plan. Before Chapter 10, accept failure. Remove emotion. Apply, never miss, twice. Do bare minimum. Continue. That's resilience. What if your ability to recover is what defines your success? That thought changes everything. Chapter 10. Becoming the person who never quits. What if the goal was never perfection, but becoming someone who always returns? What if the strongest form of discipline is not intensity, but identity that refuses to quit? This final chapter brings everything together. The final truth about consistency. Consistency is not about doing everything right. It's about continuing, especially after doubt, failure, and exhaustion. Quitting is not a single decision. It is a habit, and like any habit, it can be replaced. Who never quits? People who never quit are not always motivated, are not always confident, are not always strong. They simply decided, I come back. That decision changes everything. The identity of a consistent person. A consistent person believes, I show up. I return quickly. I don't disappear. Identity sustains action. Consistency is self-respect. Showing up daily says, my future matters. Discipline is not punishment. It is care. The long game mindset. Life is not a sprint. It is built by days, habits, repetition. Those who win are those who stay. Simplicity wins, complex plans fail. Simple habits survive. Consistency thrives on simplicity. The power of daily proof. Each day you show up, you collect proof. Proof builds belief. Belief builds identity. Identity builds destiny. The quiet pride of discipline. No applause, no spotlight, just quiet confidence. That confidence lasts. Your future self is watching every small action. Is a message to your future self. Make it a promise you keep. The 30-day show-up challenge for the next 30 days. Choose one habit, keep it small. Show up daily, never miss twice, this will change you. The final message. You don't need to change everything. You need to stay. Stay with the habit. Stay with the process. Stay with yourself. What if discipline is not about forcing your life to change, but about staying long enough to let it happen? Atomic discipline. Build habits that control your life. If this audiobook helped you, remember, small actions, daily discipline, life transformation.